Have you ever noticed how some people spend their entire lives searching for something but never seem to find it? The truth is, there's something about Jesus Christ that sparks an almost immediate internal shift, something most people either overlook or fail to understand. The lessons he left us aren't just ancient stories. They challenge everything modern society values and hold truths that can completely transform your life. The world teaches us that success is about having more, but Jesus showed us that true growth comes from resilience, vulnerability, and love. Many believe happiness means avoiding pain, but Christ's timeless wisdom proves that adversity shapes us and leads us to our purpose. If you think you can just go with the flow without questioning anything, think again. These lessons are what separate an empty life from a fulfilled one. And today, you're going to find out why. So, stick with me until the end, because in just a few minutes, you'll learn something that would otherwise take years to understand. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving deep reflections on Jesus Christ, spirituality, and personal growth. And leave a comment below. I'm ready for this transformation, because by the time you finish this video, you'll see the world in a whole new way. Life never stands still. Jesus Christ teaches us that change isn't a threat. It's a powerful opportunity to become who we were meant to be. The problem is that many people resist change out of fear of the unknown, not realizing that this is exactly where personal growth happens. Every transition, whether it's a loss, a new phase in life, or an unexpected challenge, brings a valuable lesson. Those who understand this learn to adjust their sails instead of complaining about the winds against them. Resisting change is like rowing against the tide. It drains your energy, wears you out, and ultimately leads nowhere. Resilience is built in discomfort, in accepting that yesterday is gone, and tomorrow requires a new version of ourselves. Great leaders, entrepreneurs, and even biblical figures grasped this early on. Abraham left his homeland, Moses faced Pharaoh, and Paul radically transformed his life. In each case, growth came from the courage to embrace change. So, when change knocks on your door, the question shouldn't be, why is this happening to me? But rather, what can I learn from this? Authenticity requires openness to the new, a willingness to grow even when it's uncomfortable. Small mindset shifts make all the difference, replacing complaints with curiosity, fear with faith, rigidity with flexibility. The biggest mistake isn't failing, it's refusing to evolve. And at the heart of all growth, one thing remains essential: love. Loving means allowing yourself to be seen. Jesus Christ showed us that real love doesn't hide behind masks or emotional walls. It gives itself fully and authentically. The problem is that many people confuse love with control or fear of rejection, trying to avoid any kind of pain. But true love isn't about guarantees. It's about generosity, about giving without expecting something in return. Those who understand this experience a deeper sense of purpose because they realize that love isn't a transaction, it's an act of faith. Let's be honest. Being vulnerable is scary. What if the other person doesn't feel the same? What if I get hurt? But avoiding love out of fear of pain is like refusing to live out of fear of death. It just doesn't make sense. Personal growth requires the courage to open up, to allow yourself to feel, even when it's uncomfortable. When Jesus washed his disciples' feet, he knew one of them would betray him, yet he still chose to love. That teaches us that real love isn't based on the certainty of reciprocity, but on the freedom to give. The great irony is that the more we run from vulnerability, the further we get from what truly strengthens us. The deepest relationships, the most genuine connections, and the most authentic spirituality only exist when we lower our defenses. So maybe the right question isn't, what if I get hurt? But what if I never truly experience love? And it's often in our most painful moments that we discover our greatest strength. No one likes to suffer, but few realize that pain can be both a relentless teacher and an incredibly generous one. Jesus Christ never promised an easy life, but he assured us that those who remain steadfast will experience true transformation. Adversity forces us to look inward, strengthen our faith, and redefine what truly matters. Every challenge we overcome teaches us something about resilience, purpose, and timeless wisdom, values that can't be bought, only earned. The hardest moments in life often teach us the most. Think about the greatest stories of perseverance. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers before becoming governor of Egypt. David faced giants before becoming king, and even Jesus endured the wilderness before beginning his ministry. None of it was random. Pain refines us, hardship strengthens us, and perseverance builds character. It's through challenges that we discover our true spiritual and emotional strength. But adversity only shapes those who are willing to be transformed. Some resist, harden their hearts, and miss the opportunity to grow. Others choose to learn, adjust their sails, and move forward with even greater faith. When pain knocks on your door, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Personal growth doesn't come from what happens to you, but from how you respond to it. And when we learn to be authentic, even in our struggles, we realize that we don't need to be perfect, we just need to be real. Trying to please everyone is like chasing the wind, exhausting and pointless. Jesus Christ never worried about fitting into the standards of his time because he knew that true strength comes from authenticity. The problem is that many people trade their true selves for acceptance, seeking external approval while losing their own identity. But authenticity is freeing because it allows us to live in alignment with our purpose without the need for masks. Being authentic doesn't mean being stubborn or refusing to grow. It means having the courage to embrace who we truly are. Social media has created a culture of perfection where vulnerability is seen as weakness. But think about the most impactful leaders in history. Moses struggled with speaking, Peter was impulsive, and Paul had a complicated past, yet all of them were transformed and used in incredible ways. Authenticity, when guided by timeless wisdom, is a powerful force. The world has enough copies. What it needs are more people willing to live with truth. Instead of wasting energy trying to be perfect, why not invest that energy in being real? Perfection creates distance, but authenticity brings connection, strengthens relationships, and deepens spirituality. After all, what's the point of gaining the whole world if you lose yourself in the process? And when we realize that we are not just a body, but also a soul and a spirit, we begin to see that something much greater is at stake. Modern society teaches us to value what we can see, status, material possessions, recognition, but Jesus Christ reminds us that we are far more than what is visible. Our true essence isn't found in our physical body, but in our soul and spirit, which long for something greater. That's why even when people seem to have it all, they often feel an unexplainable emptiness. That emptiness isn't a lack of success. It's a lack of connection to what truly matters, spirituality and purpose. That deep restlessness we sometimes feel isn't a problem, it's a calling. Think about the great thinkers, artists, and spiritual leaders of history. At some point, they all searched for something beyond the obvious. And what did they find? A profound truth. Personal growth isn't just about what we achieve, but about what we discover within ourselves. Connecting with our true essence requires reflection, silence, and often the courage to question the path we're on. But this search only makes sense if we live it out in practice. It's not enough to know that the soul matters more than the body if our daily actions don't reflect that truth. What nourishes your spirit? What strengthens your faith? Small habits make a difference. Reading something uplifting, helping someone without expecting anything in return, setting aside time for prayer or meditation. Those who understand this discover that the real impact of life isn't found in what we receive, but in what we give. The world measures success by numbers, money, followers, awards. But Jesus Christ taught us that true impact comes from generosity, from the ability to serve without expecting anything in return. Those who live only for themselves may accumulate wealth, but they will never find real purpose. Serving is the bridge between spirituality and personal growth, because it teaches us to step outside our own ego and see the needs of others. Serving doesn't mean giving up on your own dreams. It means understanding that real success isn't about what you achieve, but about how much you transform the world around you. Think about the greatest figures in history: Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela. They weren't remembered for what they gained, but for what they gave. Even small gestures make a difference: a word of encouragement, an act of kindness, an unexpected helping hand. When generosity is practiced authentically, it multiplies in unimaginable ways. But knowing this isn't enough, we have to act. Many people understand this truth, but few actually put it into practice. The question isn't, what can I gain, but how can I impact someone today? In the end, what truly lasts isn't material wealth or titles, but the lives we touch. And when we live this way, we realize that the greatest lessons of Jesus Christ weren't just words. They were invitations to deep and lasting transformation. Now that you've learned these powerful lessons from Jesus Christ, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because knowing isn't enough. Application is what brings transformation. How many times have you delayed making changes out of fear, insecurity, or simply because it was easier to stay the same? The truth is, your life won't change until you decide to take action. So, which of these lessons spoke to your heart the most? Which one do you feel you need to apply today? If you truly want transformation, start now. Maybe it's time to live with more authenticity, embrace resilience in the face of challenges, or see serving others as the true measure of success. Small steps lead to big changes, and the choice is yours. Leave a comment sharing which lesson impacted you the most and how you plan to apply it. Your journey of personal and spiritual growth begins the moment you choose to live it. If you want to keep learning and deepening your connection with Jesus Christ, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any content. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear these truths as well. Because shared knowledge multiplies, and together we can spread transformation.